The REITs Association of Kenya is among the three only REIT associations in Africa. But we have gone a step further. We want to be able to converge Africa itself. And we recently held the Africa REITs conference in Nairobi, Kenya, which brought in participation from 10 countries, because we believe as we share this knowledge, we'll then be able to grow the market continentally, and that's what we're looking at.
I'm here today with Geoffrey Odundo, Chairman, REITs Association of Kenya. Geoffrey, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
How is the REIT market continuing to evolve in Kenya, and what opportunities do you see for future growth?
So the Kenyan REIT market is about 9 years old. We set it up in 2017. In fact, I was the chief executive of the Securities Exchange then. And we felt that because of the structure of our property market in Kenya, there was need for a new innovative model that will allow more liquidity, more participation. And that's why we thought of the REIT market. So it's now 9 years old. Delighted to say we are probably the largest REIT market, second largest REIT market in Africa, with about 6 REITs, just behind South Africa, which is quite established. And we have been very, very fortunate to have a very favorable legislation that has helped us bring in the REITs into the market. So it's quite developed. We have residential, industrial, commercial, and very soon we're going into foreign-denominated REITs. Actually, we do have one, and we're getting a second one, and green REITs are also on the way. So I must say it's quite established. We've made some very ample progress.
And what lessons can other emerging REIT markets learn from more established global listed real estate sectors?
I think, first of all, it calls for an enabling environment. So you need to have a government that is progressive, that's looking at how can we adopt some new ideas. Now, we were fortunate to have that, and over time, then we've been able to see them accept some of our proposals, especially around taxation. That is very, very important for us to enhance our REIT market. I think the other thing is that it really needs a very strong structure, especially a capital market structure. We in Kenya today pride ourselves to have one of the most diverse markets, because we've got about 9 different asset classes that we can invest in, and the REIT is one of them. Now, with a good capital market structure, then it does encourage participation, especially institutional funds. So you need to have regulations that actually are able to allow REITs to come to market. And again, we've been fortunate to have that. The third thing is pools of capital. Very, very critical. This is because you need, one, capital to provide the seed investments, and secondly, provide for secondary market liquidity. And again, we've had that, especially the pension fund market is really evolved. Almost, I could say we're close to $20 billion in assets, which is quite encouraging for a market of our size. And again, it's been very, very helpful to help transform this. Now, Kenyans are very sentimental about property. We all buy property as our first asset. And so what we've seen is that there is a challenge, especially now. The property markets are currently experiencing some level of downturn, those in direct ownership. So people are asking themselves, how do they unlock value, how do they unlock liquidity? And the REIT markets have provided that. I must say that it's not been easy, especially around the tax policies. We have not got the full tax benefit. We still continue to lobby to allow transfer of assets to happen without additional tax to the investors or to the property owners. And that is things that we are really trying to work hard. The final thing is that we must share knowledge, and we have been very purposeful to this. The REITs Association of Kenya is among the three only REIT associations in Africa. But we have gone a step further. We want to be able to converge Africa itself. And we recently held the Africa REITs conference in Nairobi, Kenya, which brought in participation from 10 countries, because we believe as we share this knowledge, we'll then be able to grow the market continentally, and that's what we're looking at.
And looking ahead, what are the biggest priorities for expanding REIT participation and investment across Africa?
So one of the things that we want to continue doing is collaboration, especially with established REITs like Nareit, who have become our partners, and now we've also got the Global REIT Alliance, where we are members. So we have to find various platforms to attract international pools of capital. And that way we'll be able then to expand the growth of REITs, because REITs are very established in these international markets. And they possibly can see opportunity in Africa that we can't see. And that's why we are here to continue having those conversations. The second thing that is very critical is going to be capacity building in Africa. Markets of this nature are very complex and they require capacitated people. So that's why knowledge sharing is going to be important. We currently have very good collaboration with Nareit in terms of providing us with content, trainings, and capacity building programs. And that's becoming, again, very helpful. The third thing is that we have to continue developing regulations that favor REITs across Africa. This whole sentimentalism about owning property, where 99% of our property is held in direct ownership, has got to change. And that's a cultural mind shift that has to happen. And it can only happen if governments provide that enabling environment. So the fourth thing is how do we involve our multinational institutions, our players like the African Development Bank and the African Union in these programs? Because if we're going to achieve scale, we have to have large pools of investment coming through those two institutions, which I think are very, very important. REITs can help scale development of housing programs, for instance. Like in Kenya, we have a huge housing program targeting to 200,000 houses in 5 years. You can't do that directly alone. You need to mobilize capital. That is very, very critical. And scale can only be achieved by getting big funding institutions into the play. And that's, I think, Africa is going to grow, because REITs will provide us a solution for the housing problem we have in our continent, which is going to take us a long way in meeting one of the basic requirements of human rights, which is housing.